The Houston Rockets might be the NBA's most fascinating team to watch over the next 12 months. 4 years removed from their last playoff appearance with James Harden leading the way, the Rockets climbed back to 500 last season by putting the right veterans around a young core of great talent, featuring 6 first-round picks since 2021. Last season marked the beginning of Phase 2 of Houston's post-Harden rebuild. Phase 3 could be even more remarkable. With only Dillon Brooks among their veterans under contract that is guaranteed for the 25-26 season, the Rockets could create sizable cap space next summer, or they could use those expiring contracts and a stockpile of draft picks to trade for a star. As those plans are playing out, Houston must also decide which of its budding stars to pay as their rookie contracts expire. Jalen Green or Alperen Sengun. They are both eligible for extensions now ahead of restricted free agency for next summer. After finishing the 2022-23 season with their second consecutive 60-loss campaign, the Rockets' young core hadn't yet coalesced into anything approximating a winning basketball team, as they finished 27th in offensive rating and 29th in defense. Following a crucial summer, Houston turned the corner by complementing homegrown talent Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, and Jabari Smith Jr. with proven veterans in free agency. The Rockets spent big on guard Fred VanVleet and wing Dillon Brooks, who slotted into the starting 5 alongside Houston's most recent first-round picks. All 3 surged this year, with Sengun finishing 3rd in most improved player voting. Green averaged 27.5 points per game during March on a 13-2 run, highlighted with an 11-game winning streak. And Smith boosted his true shooting percentage, which in year 1 was 51%, to 57% in year 2. The veteran presence, plus new head coach Ime Udoka, helped lift the Houston Rockets all the way to 10th in defensive rating last season. Aside from their defensive improvement, the Rockets' shooting upgrades have made them a model for developing young players on a rebuilding team. Houston went from 30th in three-point percentage and 29th in threes made to 14th in makes last year and 23rd in percentage, with VanVleet making a team high of 227 threes and Brooks shot a career high at 36%. The Detroit Pistons seem to be following Houston's path this summer, signing vets who can shoot, like Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, and Tim Hardaway. To give recent lottery picks Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Asar Thompson more room to operate on offense, after Detroit finished 29th and made threes last year. The challenge for Detroit and other teams hoping to emulate the Rockets' rebuild will be upgrading veteran talent without blocking the development of its younger players. Houston was lucky that the anticipated signing of veteran center Brook Lopez fell through. With Lopez on the roster, it's unlikely Sengun would have had the opportunity for his breakthrough. The willingness of Brooks and VanVleet to take on smaller offensive roles gave Houston's draft picks room to shine. VanVleet's 20% usage rate was his lowest since 2018-2019 season, and Brooks' 18% usage rate was a career low. It's important to find veterans who understand how they fit a young team. That could make the Rockets' model difficult to replicate. 2 years after making a splash in free agency, the Rockets have a chance to do so again next summer, in part of how they structured VanVleet's contract. In exchange for guaranteeing VanVleet the max for 2 seasons, Houston got a team option on the 3rd and final year. Add in a non-guaranteed salary for backup center Jock Landale, and a team option on guard Aaron Holiday, the Rockets have minimal guarantees beyond this season. Houston could clear $80 million in cap space by shedding all of those salaries, plus a team option on the final year for AJ Griffin's rookie contract and their 2025 first-round pick. But realistically, the Rockets could be in the neighborhood of $30 million in cap space, with cap holds for both Green and Şengün as restricted free agents.
When we get into October, I would expect extensions. Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün. I think that we're going to see a list of guys come off the board, rookie extensions. That is going to be guys to watch.
The Brooklyn Nets currently project to have more than $30 million in cap space, and the Nets figure to spend probably 2 years rebuilding after reacquiring rights to the 25 and 26 first-round picks from Houston earlier this summer. That leaves Houston as a potential spoiler as teams consider extending their star-level potential free agents. In particular, the Denver Nuggets must keep an eye on the Rockets, who could make a run at Aaron Gordon if he doesn't strike an extension ahead of his 25-26 player option. Houston's options in free agency also affect negotiations with Green and Şengün. Similar to 76ers guard Tyrese Maxey, Şengün has a relatively low cap hold at $16.3 million compared to the raise he'll command on his next contract. That could make it wiser for the Rockets to forego an extension now, then use Şengün's bird rights to re-sign him after spending up cap space, similar to what Philadelphia did with Maxey. Now, Green's cap hold is $34.5 million, which is in the ballpark of a projected max salary for players with less than 7 years of service. There's less incentive for Houston to hold off on an extension. In Green's case, the challenge is finding the right value for a deal, particularly with more Rockets due for new contracts in future years. Jabari Smith Jr. in a year, Amen Thompson in 2, and Reed Sheppard is even coming down the line. If Houston uses cap space, this group could quickly get more expensive, making it important that Green's next contract doesn't prove too difficult to trade. How well Reed Sheppard plays as a rookie will also help determine whether the Rockets feel comfortable in letting Van Fleet go and spending money at another position. If Sheppard looks capable of starting by his second NBA season, that route becomes far more realistic. If the top free agents available either sign extensions like Jamal Murray did or don't look like fits for the Rockets, they can also pivot to becoming players for the next star to hit the trade market. Houston's combination of young talent, expiring contracts, and draft picks mean the Rockets can virtually make any kind of deal. Van Fleet's $44.9 million team option is large. And if a deal comes together next June, Houston can exercise Van Fleet's option and include him with draft picks or cheaper contracts as matching the salaries. The Rockets can't compete with the Oklahoma City Thunder or Utah Jazz when it comes to draft options, but they do have control of all of their picks starting in 2027, plus first rounders in 2027 and 2029 picked up from Brooklyn this summer. Most notably, Houston potentially controls Phoenix's first round pick in 2025, 2027, and 2029. That could make the Rockets the Suns' first call if they ever decide to trade Kevin Durant or, down the road, Devin Booker. As a destination for max free agents such as Dwight Howard and Chris Paul in the past, Houston figures to be a more attractive landing spot for a traded star than Oklahoma City or Utah. And the Rockets have more to offer in a trade than the desirable landing spots in the East, which might mean Texas rival, the San Antonio Spurs, are their most formidable competition when it comes to landing a star. The potential of Houston including one of its cornerstone young players is an interesting wrinkle. San Antonio has far less proven talent around the Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama. Specifically, the Rockets could consider dealing Şengün. Şengün wasn't part of Houston's March run when the Rockets shifted playing styles by playing Thompson and Smith together in a switch-heavy front court that's not possible with Şengün on the court. One key question: how aggressive will Houston be with its timeline? Landing Durant, who turns 36, would make the Rockets competitive now, but limit their ability to upgrade when their young stars reach their prime. Adding a star in their 20s would give Houston a window to contend. However, those players, like Booker, are less likely to become available anytime soon. For now, the Rockets are in a unique position. They lead the NBA with 8 players on rookie contracts, and unlike the teams in a similar position, Houston is in contention for a play-in spot right now. With the hiring of Udoka in 2023, the additions in free agency, and a number of promising draft picks, the Rockets nailed phase 2 of their rebuild. The decisions Houston makes over the next year will determine whether phase 3 can be as successful, with ripple effects felt throughout the league.